So this video is just going to give a little bit of an overview of what the Near Sandbox is. There's already 3 blogs on the Near forum, the governance forum, that goes into detail on the different sections of the Sandbox. But this is going to be a nice single place for someone who knows nothing about it to get up to speed with what's going on and how they can get involved. The goal of the Sandbox is to in many ways be a kind of contributor hub or digital city on top of Near, where the most important pillars of the Near ecosystem can interact with one another to ultimately network, connect, provide value, and engage in different activities that these different stakeholders might be working on. So as you can see from the diagram below, the idea behind this is that we're going to align the different guilds within the Near ecosystem with existing projects and future projects building on top of Near, meaning also ones coming out of the Open Web Collective, as well as things that the Near core team might need help with, smaller things in terms of translations or event management or social media, with this open opportunity for contributors or crypto enthusiasts or students, in fact, anybody who's interested in learning about the ecosystem and participating in the ecosystem. The Sandbox will ground kind of the interaction between these different groups of people as a single hub for people to kind of come in and get involved in the guild or the project or the small activity that they think is important or valuable. So moving on to point 2, when we talk about what is involved in ecosystem tasks, it's going to start in a relatively specified manner that insofar as the blog post lists out things like, content, design, social media engagement, Telegram engagement. There's a whole list of building memes, and this is just kind of the preliminary idea of getting it off the ground. The long-term goal is to have self-sustaining engagement between guilds and projects in Near core, where everyone is able to buy into the vision of putting forward opportunities for contributors or even for other guilds in order to achieve certain objectives within the ecosystem. Now, there are 2 important things to note about how the reward structure was designed for the Sandbox. The first one is that in order to try to bolster collaboration between the different participants involved, rewards are structured according to what would be known as an act or a series. So instead of trying to get people to follow what would be a normal bounty program, where you do something one time and you get a fixed reward for it, the reward structure is actually more open-ended insofar as there are certain things that you can do kind of as what a bounty would be, but the larger rewards come from actually integrating with multiple people or doing, activities that combine over time to provide larger value to the ecosystem. So an example of this would be if the EVM working group is posting updates and the Near core team thinks that it's important for someone to market those updates or share them, they might put an act out there that says, put forward a blog on the latest, a quarterly EVM update blog. And that would be an act. Now, to make that even better, the person could, design it, have it officially edited, make a video about it, work with someone to get it posted on social media, and then maybe even conduct an interview with the person involved from the EVM team. It's open-ended, and the series rewards lie in ranges, whereas the acts lie as fixed points. And then the only other point to add on the reward structure is for contributors, there are time bonuses. So the longer that a contributor remains in the Sandbox, the more both acts and series they engage in will go up over time. So if you can imagine here, this is kind of from the outside looking in, when guilds, which there are a number of guilds that are just starting to launch on Near, when guilds sign on to the Sandbox, when new projects sign on to the Sandbox now and also indefinitely going into the future, and when Near core team starts listing the various activities that they have that they would like to kind of move along faster with the help of contributors, the Sandbox is actually going to be a very, very loaded hub for opportunities that contributors might want to engage in to earn Near tokens, to network, meet people, learn about certain projects, etc. The one other thing that is important to add to this is that the guilds and projects are going to be seeded with a budget from the Near Ecosystem Fund at the beginning of every month in order to afford certain small tasks within the Sandbox. So in that sense, a guild would have, anywhere from 50 to 150 near in order to, pay for a translation or, have someone design a meme collection, etc. So in essence, the buy-in is really required in terms of just aligning your projects with what's happening in the sandbox. There's going to be support on all angles for the different parties involved. And then the final point to add to this, which was described in the last blog post, is on the nature of governance of the sandbox. In order to try to kind of get this off the ground early on, we don't really want to try to suffocate it. This isn't on-chain yet, so what that effectively means is that it's a very loose mechanism design. We want the contributors to adopt a certain mindset where they're doing the different activities in part for the reward, in part to contribute to the ecosystem, and in part to learn and network and grow different skills that they might have or personal objectives they might have. That notion of inclusivity is coupled with a kind of long-term vision of wanting to be around for a while, wanting to earn those time bonuses, and really wanting to do something significant for near and the open web. So with that understanding, the governance forum details more how rewards are distributed out, how they're evaluated. Generally speaking, it's a long-term view where the contributors that are going to most consistently engage in the sandbox are going to stand to win the most over the long term. Whereas those who are there for a quick profit and aren't really going to invest in the long term in the ecosystem might not be as satisfied. So that's just under 10 minutes in what the sandbox is. If you are a guild or a project or a near core team member, I think the only other thing that I can add to this is that this initiative is not going to work unless you buy into this idea and unless you want to see this on the ecosystem. And so I think going forward, as we start to market this, it's really important that if the sandbox is going to become a digital hub for bringing in new people and kind of familiarizing them with opportunities in the ecosystem, that all the guilds, all the projects, and the relevant tasks from the near core team are there for them to pick up and start playing with. As of right now, the sandbox is found on a separate Discord channel where we're going to be able to align all of the kind of activities, rolling rewards, conversation in one place that will hopefully grow over time. So check out the link. It's going to be posted below in the information about the video. And hopefully we'll see you in the sandbox and get your feedback so that we can get some rewards and activities rolling and bring in some contributors.